All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now, I've got some stuff that I want to talk about today, and a lot of it has to do with you guys, my subscribers, and people who are watching my videos, even if you haven't subscribed yet, okay? But first, let me just tell you what this video is going to be about, then I'm going to talk about that. So real quick, the video is going to be about Dana commenting on Conor's retirement, Dana talking about when fans are going to be able to come back and watch live, Jon Jones with some racial insensitivity concerns that we can talk about, which are either totally merited or completely stupid, depending on some criteria that I can lay out. And then Mike Perry needs to cut 18 pounds in 4 days, and I have a couple ideas for how he could do that. And then Sterling is calling out either Aldo and Yan. I'll touch on that super quick. But first of all, so here's what I wanted to talk about. I was thinking about this with some of the comments that I had on my last video, and I was looking, I'm like, these are such smart comments. It is certainly basically 100% because the only place that I've ever done any placement is with Mix Molly. I am the huge Mix Molly fan. I love his stuff so much. And he never allowed anybody else to do it. And like he and I talk, we've already been talking all morning. I talk to him all the time. I love that dude, man. I love that dude. But the type of people who watch his content are very high level fans, intelligent people who are intelligent fans who have intelligent things to say. And I thought about that and I was like, you know, one thing that I think that my channel should evolve into, and this is 100% due to the participation of the people who watch these, I want these videos to be sounding boards. I want this to turn into a conversation as if we're on Reddit, or if we're on one of the MMA threads or SureDog, you know, whatever, like where the MMA community comes and they have discussions. Like I want the video itself to be a sounding board that then we turn into a highly intelligent conversation in the comment section underneath. Like I want people to respond to each other's comments. Like I want people to pose responses to the things that I say, challenge them, agree with them, whatever. And then let's talk about it, because the threads are generally, you know, have some smart people and some morons. But in our case, what we have going for us is we're all Mix Molly fans for the most part. So at the very least, the genesis of my channel is populated by the highest level fans in MMA. Period, point blank, period. If you're someone who watches Mix Molly stuff, you are a high level MMA fan and you're gonna have intelligent things to talk about. So I want to leverage that and make this channel where smart people come, right? Smart people who want some original insight, because I am absolutely going to give you that. So with that, I invite all of you smart people to go on this journey with me as I talk about the topics that I discussed earlier, right? Which are, first, Dana White says, Conor is retired and I am not going to chase after him. Okay. You're not going to chase after him right now because there's no fight for him that makes sense from the business standpoint, right? It's like, listen, Conor has a guaranteed title shot in his next fight, all right, against the winner of Gaethje and Khabib. Now, are the fans going to accept sitting there and waiting for Conor and not having some kind of story for why he's not fighting? No, they're not, okay? So either Conor is just totally aware that he's going to just have to sit this out, or he and Dana have actually spoken about it and he just threw a retirement up. But one way or the other, if you think Conor is not going to take a rematch with Khabib, if Khabib beats Gaethje, you're out of your mind. Okay, for 1,000% sure he's going to take that fight. And if Gaethje wins, he's going to take that fight too. All right, plain and simple, that is going to happen as soon as the fight is for the 155-pound belt. There is no fight for him right now. There's just not. Okay, there are all kinds of matchups that we want to see, but you don't know what Conor's goals are, right? How can anybody say that there's a fight on the table for him if you don't know what Conor's vision and what Conor's goal is? If Conor's only goal is to beat Khabib, then is there a fight on the table for him? No, okay? He's not motivated by money anymore. Like he genuinely has that much dough now, okay? He has that much dough. Proper 12, like, what's his name? George Clooney sold his tequila company for $1 billion, okay? $1 billion. Conor owns Proper 12, right? He has investors that are probably made up of like his manager. Probably he gave a piece to John Kavanaugh, like real close circle. And then whatever distribution company that they might not even have equity. Okay. He's good on money for sure. So that's not a motivator. If he wants to fight, it'll be for another reason. So If Khabib is the one he wants, then who's he going to fight right now? And even if not, okay, let's just look at the company. The company wants to make as much money as possible, okay? If they stick him in there with Nate Diaz, why? It's a huge fight, but why? It's all risk. There's no reward. That particular fight is always there. It's always there. There's no, like, he could lose 2 in a row, Nate could lose 2 in a row, and then he'll still do 1.5 million pay-per-views, right? Now, both of them are coming off victories, you know. I mean, listen, man, if you really want to paint this into maximum value for the UFC, since we're playing hypotheticals like I did on the other video where Francis and Jon fight on the undercard for Stipe and DC, and then the winners fight each other, and then it's DC and Jon Jones, retirement fight, the biggest thing ever. Let's play hypotheticals for, I'm Dana White, and this is my wet dream for future events, okay? Here's how that looks. Conor fights the winner of Gaethje and Khabib, which ends up being Gaethje, okay? So Conor fights Gaethje, Conor beats Gaethje. Khabib fights for the title, now not against Conor who got his ass kicked the first time, now against Conor who just beat the guy who beat Khabib. So it's a who's going to do it fight. Conor wins, okay? Nate Diaz, in the meantime, has gotten a win at 155 pounds, and then Conor's second title defense is against Nate Diaz at 155 pounds, okay? That is maximum value. That is that's probably 3 consecutive pay-per-views that break 2 million buys. One of them might even break 3. You know, I mean, I don't even know. With everybody sucking door, who knows what the future is going to be? But all 3 of those break 2 for sure. You might even get to 4 on the Khabib rematch if Conor beats Gaethje, and then in the interim, Khabib crushes Ferguson. Right? So Gaethje beats Khabib. Conor beats Gaethje, Khabib beats Ferguson, and then the rematch is Khabib and Conor. That might do 4 million pay-per-views. That might do 4. Oh man, that would be insane. If Dana saw this, he would literally just, but things don't usually fall in place like that, right? Like, we're just playing best case scenario. But anyway, so also Dana said that he has no idea when they can plan on fans being back in the stadiums. Basically, he said that internationally, it's probably closer than it is in any state in the USA. He basically is just saying, like, look, I am just following state regulations. It's as simple as that. If a state will allow us to have crowds, I'm going to have crowds. He has no concerns about this COVID thing, if you haven't noticed, okay? He is so dismissive of coronavirus. I look at it as people can make informed decisions, right? It's like, you know what the risks are. If you have diabetes or if you're over 60 years old, then probably not very safe to go. If you're not those things, weigh your options. Do you live with someone who has diabetes? I mean, people are going to have to use a little bit of brain power. Like, how much contact do I have with someone who's high risk if I'm not high risk? And then make a decision. Buy a ticket and go, or don't. Buy a ticket or don't, right? But I always lean towards let people make their own decisions. Drug war makes no sense to me, okay? Anyway, neither here nor there. I'm not going to touch on politics, and then I'm going to say a bunch of it. Anyway, I am not a Republican or a Democrat, so don't feel like I'm on somebody's side. All right, and continuing on, not talking about politics, I want to talk about Jon Jones' post that he made, because this gives me an opportunity to sprawl a little bit outside of mixed martial arts, which I would like to do. I just probably am going to have to start another channel to do it, because it just doesn't really mix, all right? But Jon Jones was upset about a pair of jeans being labeled black and then negro, which is obviously the Spanish word for black, at this jean store that he took a video of it and posted it, okay? So this is the kind of thing that I've learned a valuable lesson on very recently, all right? This is that lesson. My opinion is irrelevant, okay? Like, I used to weigh in on that stuff all the time, where I would say things like that particular issue. I would be like, are you serious? Like, it's labeled black in Spanish. Like, that's obviously not some kind of racial slur. Like, why are you muddying the waters? Why are you muddying the waters of real issues? Like, there are plenty of real issues for us to all look at and potentially have a discussion and then solve, although most people don't like having discussions anymore. They like yelling at each other. But I'm just saying, smart people like us in our comment section would normally like to talk about how we can solve for crime in the inner cities, police brutality, any of these other things that we would potentially, how do we solve these larger issues? Conversation, okay? So if you say something like this about, the Spanish word for black bothering you because it's labeled on a pair of jeans, you're muddying the waters and you're actually making it more difficult to have real conversations because people look at that and they're like, oh, okay, so this is all nonsense if this is what you're upset about, right? That would have been something I might have said before. Now I realize my opinion is irrelevant, so I don't have one, okay? Like, I just don't have one because here's why. What does your opinion matter if no one's listening, okay? I mean, honestly, like if you have an opinion in your mind and no one is going to listen to you, what's the point of having the opinion? Right? Because I've learned if you look like me and you're speaking to someone who is black and has like a strong opinion about something that's an issue in their community, they're not listening to you. Your opinion is wholly invalid to them or just irrelevant. And given that I've learned that basically that is across the board over there, that makes me think that my opinion probably is invalid. Okay? Like, it's the kind of thing that normally I would push back on. But when that is so universally accepted over there, where it's like, no, really, your opinion's invalid, it's like, okay, I'm going to take a step back on that and say, you know what, my opinion probably is invalid on that one. It's just because you all agree on that, you know? And yeah, it took me a while to get to that. But I will say this. If every single pair of jeans was labeled with the Spanish word for the color, okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to say that's it. But my opinion is totally irrelevant, so it is what it is. All right, so Sterling calls out Aldo and Yan. Whoever wins is going to get Sterling. And I like Sterling in that fight against either of them. That guy is a monster. A monster. That's all I'm going to say, actually, is that I think Sterling is going to win no matter who wins. And lastly, Mike Perry needs to cut 18 pounds in 4 days. Good luck, guy. He's going to make weight, and then he's going to feel like death when he gets in there. I do not understand. I don't understand. In MMA, it doesn't make any sense to me, okay? I understand in wrestling that if you don't cut a lot of weight, then you end up fighting guys that are just too strong. I have actually learned this from wrestlers. They're like, dude, in wrestling, you have to cut weight. They're too strong. You can't just like not cut weight. But in MMA ain't wrestling, dude. It's not. You have to weigh all of those different factors, right? So maybe they're a little bit stronger than you. Does that mean they're a better mixed martial artist than you? No, it's not. It's a different sport, completely different sport that some people can use wrestling as the basis for, but being lighter than someone and not quite as strong, in some cases will be an advantage because you're faster, right? And having more endurance tends to be a good thing in mixed martial arts. So there's just a universal acceptance that people just need to cut a bunch of weight. I don't understand that. Like, you really, especially if you've lost a bunch in a row, maybe step it up. I mean, it doesn't make logical sense. It doesn't make logical sense that going up a weight class, you might have more success, but historically that has been the case in many, many cases that I don't even need to go over, right? There's so many of them that I don't even need to go over. The only guys that I can think of that go up and really have failed and fallen on their face are guys like Luke Rockhold, who lost the same way that he was losing at the lower weight class, right? He was at 170, he gets knocked out by left hooks, and then he goes up and gets knocked out by a left hook. I mean, I don't think it was the weight. He looked awesome. Right up until, for the 100th time in a row, he went in and kept his hands down because he has no respect for his opponents. He's so good, but he has the air of, I have no respect for you whatsoever, and it's cost him. And it's like, you would think the first 2 times where he got his head knocked off by an opponent that he was beating in a fight would wake him up to the fact that, like, I mean, like, how about like this, kicking like this. Kick like this. I mean, I don't understand it. Jan Blachowicz said that he dreamed about knocking him out with that left hook, and then he did. I mean, anyway. And then Weidman, who went up and then fought Dominic Reyes. And Dominic Reyes, as we know, is pretty awesome, right? That's a pretty tough matchup. I'm glad Matt Weidman finally has an opponent that's a little more reasonable for him to be squared up with. Get the guy back on the horse, for God's sake. But most guys, they go up and they do well. They do really, really well. So anyway, that's what I got for today. I am going to leave you guys with that. And I am very happy to have you guys as subscribers or followers or whatever. And let's start the conversation. Let's do it. All right. Thank you guys. Peace.